Hello, Mario! In this video we're going to now continue on where we left off last time, and that is we're going to now put some text into the template. So I'm just going to reduce that down there like that and just perhaps focus on this working area here, and then I'll also just bring up the copy of the thing, so clicking in there, and we'll just make that 200% perhaps, and zip it across there like so. Takes a little bit of thing. So here we are down here, so we'll just start at the bottom, and there we go. Now, one of the things we need to do with text is to set the text style. So text is generally can be done up here and annotate. So I'm just going to go there to text, and the text style that I sort of generally use is this annotative style here. Annotative means that it will change with the scale of the drawing. Not that that applies in paper space where we are here, but nonetheless that's the one I use. So I'm just going to click down in there, and there this brings up the text style thing. So I'm using an Arial text annotative, and I always set the paper text height to be 2 millimeters. 2 millimeters is pretty much the minimum text height that you want. If you go below 2 millimeters, the text becomes difficult to read. The text can clog up in the middle of the A's, and it becomes quite difficult to read. At times I do go down to a 1.8 millimeter height. We also must be aware that when we're doing this particular plan here at A2, in all likelihood most contractors or contractors' offices will have an A3 printer but not an A2. So the plan will generally be printed out at A3, so it will be reduced. So the 2 millimeter high lettering will come out quite a lot smaller than that at A3. Possibly around about 1.5 millimeters, where it is just able to be read, but ideally you want your text height to be 2 millimeters. So I'm just going to put that as there, and I'm going to set that as the current text style. So that's the current style that we're going to use, and close. It's usual just to use the one font on a plan. It's changing fonts and have different fonts. It doesn't look good. It's a very unprofessional in some ways. Although, as with all rules, it can be broken. There is one definite no-no, however, and that is whatever you do, do not use the Comic Sans font. That is considered most unprofessional. That's the font that's used in comics and things like that. Comic Sans. Don't use that. You'll be laughed out of the office if you do that sort of thing. All right. So now we've got our text. Now here we've got, if we click here where we see with our annotation, and up here we've got our text. We have two types of text essentially. Multi-line text, which is, as it says, multi-line text, or single line text. So, excuse me, we have some choices here. Now, single line text is quite good in this circumstance. Multi-line text, you can do more things to the text. So single line text, you just don't have any options with regards to bolding, underlining, italic and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do single line text, and I'm going to just go in here like this. I'm pushing my F8 key, and I didn't push the F8 key there. I'm just going to, I've got it set at ortho mode. You'll note that I've got it highlighted down there. So I'm just going to go like that. And then a little thing comes out. So I'm going to go scale, SCA, scale, at, and A2. Oops. A2. Like that. So that's the text that I want. I just can click that there and just go escape. I can push the enter line and that'll give another line. Now, one of the things positioning text is you want to try and position it and have the same sort of positioning. So what I've done there is I've just gone in there, I've just selected that little bit of text, grabbed the little blue box, and I'm just going to, now you can see there I've got the ortho mode on. I really want to flick that off because that gives me more flexibility as to where I can put my text. So I'm going to put it in there. Now this text is 2 millimeters high, so I'm just going to estimate approximately where I want it there, and that's sort of 1 millimeter in from the side and 1 millimeter down. Yes, I'm quite happy with that. Okay, now obviously if you estimate each one, you're going to positioning for each one, but you want to try and keep them the same. So how I do that is to keep them the same as well, there's two ways. I can go CP, which is copy. That's the copy command, and it's also elsewhere. So I'm just going to go CP, enter, okay, and it tells me select the objects I want to copy, and I'm just going to select that one there. When you've finished copying, you can either push right click, and that, or you can push the space bar or enter, and then it says copy the base point. Now I'm going to choose that point there, and you can see that I'm choosing an end point there. That's my base point there, and then it says second one. So I'm just going to copy that same bit of text there, and I'm going to copy it there, and I'm going to copy it there, and I'm going to copy it there, and possibly here, 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 and here. So each one of those is the same, but the reason I did that, of course, is now they'll all be in the same position. So then I can just come into here, double click, and type in sheet number for that one. This one here, double click, LACS number, LACS number. This is a numbering system that architects use for their plans, LACS number, and that will be explained to you by your architectural type tutor in another class. And date. Okay, and then this one here is graphic scale, GRAPHICCA, graphic scale, like so, and then we'll just come down here, graphic scale. This one here is drawing title. I'm heading in there like that. Okay, drawing title. Okay, checked by. Checked by, drawn by. Very important that we know who drew our plans. Drawn by. And then this one over here is North Point. We put this in here. On some plans we don't require a North Point, but we can just have a generic one in there. Just North Point. So have that in there if we need it. Just moving right on down, so we've got project title goes in here. So again, it's just a matter of CP. I've just selected that one first, CP is my base point. So this one here is project title. It's going to go in here and up in here. I think there's something going to go up in there. So that's just getting them all really nice and tidy and all looking in the same relationship. So this is project title. All pretty straightforward. There are some ways of drawing these where you can actually get them to be filled in for each sheet, but I haven't done any work on that. So this one here, obviously, we need CP in here, CP enter, and that's going there to there, and that one will be notes. So click on, double click. Take very good care as to how things are drawn. You'll note here that everything's been done in capitals. Oops. What's happening here? Just might have to reduce our. Okay. And come down here. Oops. Just got to find my hand. Come down here. We want to look in there a bit. Let's go to 100. Okay, so that's notes done, and then in here I'm just going to put revisions, and I'm just going to push enter. Oh, that didn't work so good. Just push there, let's push enter. That hasn't worked quite as I had anticipated, but we'll just go CP enter, and I'll just put something like, I'll line that up there like that, and just put the same thing just sort of down there, just so it looks right. It looks pretty good there, and then we're going to go here. And what we're going to do in here is date, and this is in lowercase, so date, description, and initial. So it's not quite fitting there, but we'll just get that to fit in a minute. Okay, so let's just go in here like this. So let's see, we've got the date just looking there, starts under about the V, so we'll pump that over to there. And then the initial just comes back a bit, initial, about there. And then this description, sort of about there, an initial about there. Okay, so now let's, oh, that's not looking too good. It needs to do a bit more work on it. So there like that, and it can come back there like that. That might be okay. Might just pull that initial back a little bit. There. You could measure these if you wanted to. All right, so let's let's put a line in here. Perhaps we could go offset. Let's just put a line in there. So L for line, L enter. I'm just going to choose a point. You can see that's just near us, so it's going to click onto that line there, drop down to there, and then that's going to be a right angle there. Okay, and that'll give us that distance there. We could just go up to, I'll just go up here for a minute, and if we wanted to, I could go to the home button and just push the little measure there, measure the distance, and we could say go from there to there, and we can see down here that the distance is 15.2247. So let's just offset, offset. We could make it 15 or just go 15.2247 if we wanted to, and we could select here and there. So that should be about the same. So that's looking pretty good. The date's pretty much in the middle. I might just pull the initial back one space. That looks more in the middle. Now, just to see here, you can see that that line's going all the way down, which is not what we wanted. But what we can do here is, if we use the trim with the double tap, it's only going to take out that line, and then I'm going to have to come back and delete it. But if we go for the trim, so TR for trim, and then I just don't do the double tap, but select objects. I'm just going to select that object there, which will be my trim line, and then I finish selecting objects, and then click or select that line there, and that takes it all the way out. So that's pretty much, I need to just take that line out there. Now this one here, we can do the trim, TR, the double tap, and that seems to want to, it's trimmed against the text, and then we can take that out there. So there you go. That's pretty much the text in there. Next up, we'll take a look at the logo. Cheers!